we an empire?
I think we've been an empire for a long time.
How long?
And I think that because, are you familiar with what happened in the year 1913?
What happened?
Under the presidency of Woodrow Wilson? It's a very pivotal year. There's three things that happened that year. You know, a lot of people will be familiar with the Jekyll Island meeting that created the Federal Reserve. That happens in 1913. And the Federal Reserve Act is passed over the Christmas break when the Warburg family, who's one of the German banking families, is there. The Rockefellers are there. And they basically decide that they want to prop up a central bank because they want to protect their own assets. Because if you look at the Federal Reserve, it's not federal and it's not, you know, it doesn't have any reserves. It's basically a cartel. And it's owned by member banks. And a lot of the member banks are banks you're aware of. And the bigger investor in them is the BIS, or the Bank of International Settlements in Basel. So it is really a cartel of banking. So they established this thing in 1913. The other thing that passes that year is the 16th Amendment for income tax. Because now, if you have this bank, you have to have a way to fund it, right? And they're going to fund it by taxing people. They had tried taxes after the Civil War to this extent, and it didn't last very long. But the income tax amendment sticks. The other thing that passes is the 17th Amendment, and this gets almost...
So this is not even drawn up by government?
The other thing that passes that year, which no one seems to talk about, and this actually would have been pivotal during COVID, the 17th Amendment makes it so senators are no longer selected by state legislatures. They're selected by popular vote.
Why does Rome still matter for today?
Well, I think when you look at it, as I said earlier, history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme in a lot of ways. And I think if you understand patterns that happen in history, you can understand a lot of what's happening in your world today, because I think we look at modern politics and we see the things that are happening and we try to say, okay, well, if we just make this solution now, it'll solve it.
The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000.
And if we look at earlier empires, especially Rome, it's something that those short-sighted solutions often don't fix things. Praetorian Guard actually auctions the empire to him. So he pays a certain price and he gets to be emperor. And after around 80 days, they kill him.
Who's they?
The Praetorian Guard, because they had become the power behind the throne. And they're responsible for killing somewhere around 17 different emperors that we know of. You know, if they weren't happy, they might kill the emperor, and this happens on a number of occasions.
So was this like a shadow government? So the Praetorian Guard, where do they get their decision-making from?
Sword! Give me a sword! Sheathe your sword!
Are they of the people?
So they are
Are they the pulse of the people, or are they strictly a shadow government?
So they were originally the private bodyguard of the Emperor Augustus, and they just become the protector of emperors. They wouldn't have cared what the people thought. They would have cared about being so close to the wheels of power.
What are the people thinking of all of that? Do the people even matter at all?
In Roman history, one of the biggest missing pieces that we have is what did the regular people do during their lives? Because for them, it was survival. They were worried about flooding. The Tiber River would flood every year. They were worried about disease. They were worried about dying from random things. They were worried about being able to pay for things. They didn't really have time to care about those things. And as you get into the later empire, a lot of them would have never even seen an emperor. Their life is just so drastically different than those that have money or those that have political power. They're just worried about survival.
Centralization of power, emergency authority becomes permanent.
Rome had an oral constitution. And when a crisis arose, they would alter it to handle the crisis. But the problem is, once you do that, you don't go back. And if you look at that with a lot of things we've experienced, the war on terror, or 9/11, or a lot of these different things that happen, The Patriot Act has dramatically changed their lives. Rome was very similar in a lot of ways. An emperor gives away citizenship because he needs to handle the treasury, or Christians are being persecuted because they want to bring back the peace of the gods. So they're trying to handle whatever's there right now because they couldn't think in the future, right? Because especially in the 3rd century, these guys are living such a short period of time. They're thinking about, what do I have to do to live? And we can see that now with each crisis altering how we operate, right? You look at even with a lot of the woke stuff that's happened, like the verbiage we used to use, we can't use anymore.
That's what I was kind of getting at in the
Yeah.
Bible, is a lot of the woke stuff, a lot of the gender stuff, that was all happening in Rome, correct?
Yeah.